What up, guys? We're going to have a fun one today. We're going to talk about 6 cards or 6 kind of mini engines that had their time in the limelight super short, and then they just essentially disappeared from any play or any use. But hey, could come back again, so we should be aware of them. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it, go through a little history. It's recent history. For the most part, I think these all 6 are in the last probably 3 or 4 years, but let's talk about them. Number 1, Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. All right, so this card was super popular when it came out because at the time it had Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda to turbo it out. We also had triple Fusion Destiny, plus the Destiny Hero Dasher and Celestial were the most common cards to send off of that Fusion Destiny. But other than pure hero decks, this card sees essentially 0 play. And even though we're counting hero decks, it still sees 0 play because nobody's playing heroes lately. But anyway, yeah, this card kind of disappeared from the face of the earth. Essentially, because Verte went away, nobody wanted to play these 2 bricks in their deck, which you can't use if you draw them, unfortunately. Even with Fusion Destiny, you would have to get rid of stuff out of your hand, so that's not ideal. Plus, we're playing kind of like a 3 wanted card engine in combination with a 2 brick engine, so just not worth the space, just not worth the risk, unless you can make use of Dasher and Celestial somehow. Or, you know, the hero deck plays Destiny Hero Denier and Malicious as well, so they don't need to play these 2 cards as bricks. But I played this card in Sky Striker, and I thought it was the coolest thing. It was the most fun package that I'd ever played in Sky Striker engine because getting that draw 2 off of Celestial was absolutely nuts. DPE, as this card is called, was able to clear itself from the board. And essentially free yourself up to use your Sky Striker spells. So it would just be recursion and really give Striker the grind that it needed. But in fact, unfortunately, this card fell off. Striker is not playing it anymore, and honestly, the power level of Striker is a little bit too weak ever since DPE went away. Alright, so that's our first package. Let's go ahead and scoop that up. The next one that saw some play for a short time and right now sees essentially none is Therion King Regulus. This one still sees play only in the 60 card plant link deck, or, you know, whatever, Sun Avalon, Rika, that deck plays it a little bit, but it's honestly not the use that this card was intended for. This card is built to work around the Earth Machine deck, to work with whatever rank 4 deck as well, because it is searchable with Springen's Merrymaker plus the gigantic champion Sargus. But when Regulus came out, you know, it was seeing play. It was an Omni Negate you could make in the deck, and it had a lot of hype for the Super Heavy Samurai deck. Unfortunately, fortunately, the Super Heavy Samurai deck never took off because it was banned before we could even see any play, and Regulus fell off as well, and essentially the use of this card that it was kind of released for just never happened, and I guess it never really got to see the limelight. The next card we're going to talk about is a board breaker that was popular during Kashtira format only, but since then 0 play, is Kurikara Div Incarnate. So Kurikara was an easy out to Kashtira Arise Heart because Arise Heart would mandatorily trigger even outside of the main phase. Like, you could just activate anything, trigger the Arise Heart, or your opponent would just trigger it themselves, and then Kurikara could be played over that for an easy clear of the Kashtira board. Super clutch. Since Kashtira went away, the Div Incarnate sees essentially 0 play. It's far too costly to play into boards and then use Kurikara, whereas Kashtira would kind of activate effects themselves and you could just Kurikara for free. So that's why we're not seeing any Kurikara. We saw it for about 1 format, and then since then, just absolutely gone. Alright, so that's card number 3. Let's talk about card number 4. Duality. Alright, so Duality is known for basically one thing and one thing only. Joshua Schmidt's YCS Bologna Bestial Runic deck that won YCS Bologna. Played Duality to use it to dodge Hugin, to dodge effect negation on Hugin, and also to swap out the Bestial monsters for time cards as well, summon out Fabled Unicorn and stuff like that. Other than that deck and that one format where that deck was playable, Duality has seen essentially zero play in any deck or any format. People were labbing with it in Branded, being able to summon out Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, but that never really took off as an actual meta threat. So Duality only saw play basically one YCS and essentially has been sitting here doing nothing for a long time. The next package we have is going to be Illusion of Chaos and Magician Souls. So this package was played back in, what's it called? Helka Fibrax format, whichever format you want to consider that, with the based deck, which was... Oh boy, I forgot what based even stands for. It's like Artifact and Rose Dragons and whatever else, I forget. But yeah, that was basically the only format where Magician Souls saw any relevant play outside of your casual Dark Magician deck play. But yeah, I think this engine has a lot of promise, but it only saw play for like a couple months. And since then has essentially disappeared off the face of the earth, and nobody has seen any Magician Souls since. So I think it's just a matter of time before this engine comes out, does a little bit of something, because in the end, it's a very consistent draw engine. You know, it doesn't play any bricks because the engine kind of gets rid of itself as you draw any piece of it, which is a super clutch feature to have. All right, so our last card that was hyped for about one format and then disappeared is going to be Ice Dragon's Prison. This card was the bee's knees when it first came out. It was used to clear Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. It was really good into whatever decks were being played at the time. Basically, every deck that was meta when Ice Dragon's Prison came out played stuff that was all the same type and attribute. So IDP, as this card is called, was able to clear threats off the field, out of the graveyard, all at once. It was a super nice piece of interruption. But since then, this has seen essentially zero play. I have this Prismatic Secret Rare from the Mega Pack 21 tins. I don't think I've ever played this card, so it must have come out around 2020 or early 2021. That's when it was really good. And I don't think I've played the Prismatic Secret Rare version. I used to play the Ultras back before this reprint, and I don't think I've ever played it since the reprint came out. Unfortunate. I think it's one of the coolest cards in the game, one of the coolest trap cards. Maybe Labyrinth messes around with this card a little bit, but essentially sees zero splashable play in any meta deck. So these are 6 cards that were really hyped for 1 minute and then kind of disappeared. What other cards come to mind for this type of list? Let me know in the comments section down below. Leave a like, sub to the channel if you enjoy, and with that, we'll catch you in the next one. I'll see you soon.